Okay, so welcome to this month's Southall Matters Community Forum. So, Arjan, welcome. You said you've got a
Okay.
lot to discuss. And whilst we're waiting for Joe to join us, would you like to start?
Yeah, thanks. I I attended a webinar on the local plan for the Regulation 19 last week. Um, I don't remember the guy. It was Steve, someone who
Steve Barton.
that's it. He was in charge of it.
Yeah.
And for Southall, I wasn't surprised. It's what we're kind of experiencing over the past 16 years, but it's going to go on for another 15. Um,
Yeah.
he's he's basically said, long story short, from the hour and a half I spent sitting there, um, it's mostly like it's going to be more flats in places where they think it's suitable than it is parking spaces
Excuse
for
me,
people
sorry.
in Southall.
Hmm.
So that's where I feel that's where I felt a bit annoyed. And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's about
that,
cramming Southall with more flats. And Ealing Matters sent, if I can find it, a really useful um, diagram, and it's the net housing completion 23, 24 through to 2037, 38. So approved and pending housing in Southall, 6,359 homes. Windfall sites, I've got no idea what windfall size means, but that's 1,893 homes. And then
that's
site
basically
allocate.
I think Windfall is where they're going to place it. I think. Not entirely sure. I
Yeah,
could stand corrected.
I don't know. Um, and then finally, site allocations is 7,002, making a total of 15,254 homes. And this is from the 5-year housing land supply position. So it is really disheartening. And then when you look at the infrastructure to support all these new homes, there's going to be new open space at the Green Quarter. But if you take a bird's eye view of the development, really there isn't much green space. And the space where children were photographed playing football, if the latest planning application is given permission, that will be a site for a tower or towers. And, if you look at it from a bird's eye view, the open space is Minute Country Park.
Yeah,
And somebody connected with Minute Country Park said, yes, we welcome new visitors, but obviously more footfall means, potentially damage to footpaths, and and they will be seeking a payment from Barclay Group, understandably. Uh,
I found.
indoor indoor
Sorry.
sports facilities. There's going to be a new indoor sports facility in the Green Quarter. But from what I've read in the documents, sorry, I'm not very well at the moment, so just bear with me. The documents that accompany the planning application, one called it a sports pavilion, and the other said sports hall. Don't think it's going to be a sports pavilion because you need quite a bit of land for a sports pavilion, to play cricket and whatnot. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near comparable to the facilities provided at Southall Sports Centre, which shut down a couple of years ago. There is a new leisure centre listed at Dormers Wells Leisure Centre. Yeah, it does need replacing. But, I think we definitely need a comparable facility situated somewhere between UB1 and UB2.
Um,
Let's talk of mention of the new Warren Farm Sports Centre. including pavilion, but as we've discussed previously, not accessible for people who live certainly in UB2. Education, they're looking at school capacity to identify early years, primary, secondary, further years, and SEND provision. And there are plans for a 2-form entry school at Southall Waterside and also at Middlesex Business Centre, and adding 1 form of entry to Villiers High School. Well, that's interesting, Villiers. But what about Featherstone High School? And that's been oversubscribed for some time.
Ange, can I quickly? I found the Regulation 19 document.
Yeah.
Through the council website. I would like to share the screen. I would prefer if I could share the screen.
Can I hand over that function to you? Just bear with me for a minute.
Because then I've got the actual document up there, which I can explain to the best of my ability.
Sure.
It may not be as 100% as they did it in the webinar, but I can try my best.
Sure. Hang on a minute. Right, I'm going to make you host.
Okay, great.
Okay. So you should be able to share screen now. But whilst you're doing that, I'm going to say hello to Joe and hello to Rashpal. You haven't missed much. We kicked off a little bit late tonight, but we started discussing the draft local plan and this Regulation 19 consultation. And Arjan said he wasn't very impressed with the presentation on Monday pertaining to the number of homes planned for Southall. Go ahead, Arjan.
Sorry, I've lost it. Hold on. I found the plan for Southall. Basically, what they used in the webinar. I'm just going to try my best as much as I can to explain what they said. Can you guys see the shared screen?
Yeah, I can see the screen.
Because obviously, so basically, what the council's saying here that most of the issues that we face in Southall town is obviously the lack of employment-led growth, due to the lack of employment opportunities in Southall. Since the pace of the new homes provision has been rapid, this has not been accompanied by a similar increase in the amount of employment space and employment jobs. And then the pressure from residential-led growth in Southall is placing increased pressure upon Southall industrial land. Due to the growth demand for homes in London as a whole. And then apparently, it keeps on doing this. Hold on.
At the webinar, was there any opportunity to ask Steve any questions, Arjan?
I've asked about 3.
And did he respond?
Steve was really open. He was open. He was really open to questions.
I didn't know anything about the webinars. The first I knew of it, I received an email from Ealing Council on Wednesday last week. And obviously that was too late because the webinars took place on Monday. So when I contacted customer services on X, they then came back to me and said there was a problem with the email. But it was frustrating because chances are I probably would have attended the daytime webinar. Another thing that concerns me, really, they should do an in-person event in Southall. And it's not good enough just to have drop-ins in Ealing. You know, we're the poorest part of the borough, yet we're expected to travel to the most wealthy part. So as far as I'm concerned, it should be the other way around. If people want to drop in, they should travel to Southall.
Yeah.
And we have the Dominion Centre and the Manor House, which are public buildings, and either one should be used.
I'm gonna carry on with this. Speaking of which, health and well-being challenges is one of the cause for concerns that Ealing have raised. where the borough-wide challenges of deprivation and low pay are acute in Southall, which contributes to deeply embedded health and well-being challenges. Southall's population density is among the highest in Southall, ranking second of the 7 towns, with large parts of the town having deficient access to open space. Clearly because Ealing Council they're building on our open spaces. That's why. And then it's critical that these social issues are addressed. And as you can see here, over where my cursor is in the bottom left corner, Southall has the lowest life expectancy in the borough, with men only living up to 77 and women living half of their 82 years.
That's depressing and saddening to hear, but
So
not a surprise at all.
My grandma's 84 and she's living really well, active.
Mm. But we've got serious challenges to our health.
Yeah,
and
it's hard.
it's hard getting.
It's hard getting GP appointment. Like this morning, I was number 15 in the queue for about an hour until I got down to 14. So I just hung up.
Shocking.
What's the point? Opportunities for Southall. Obviously, they mention here again. Let's the community-led groups they enact change. Like the Southall Reset program, which enables community-led approach to regeneration for Southall Major Centre and its surrounding neighbourhoods. The Let's Go Southall programs, which encourages greater walking and cycling, and stuff like that. Housing for all residents is apparently one of the many reasons why they're constantly building. So I've been told, and prioritizing employment-led growth is another issue.
Yeah. Can I just stop you there quickly?
No. Yeah.
Because you know the site where the honey puff or whatever it is, sugar puff factory is. Planning application been submitted for logistics centre. And when I spoke to Steve Barton about this site last year, when there was a meeting about the local plan, so about last January, I think, he agreed with me that is not a good location for a logistics centre because the area is just so congested with traffic. And I just think it's a ludicrous idea. There are other places, and certainly outside of, I would say, Ealing Borough, in Hillingdon Borough and Hounslow, which are better locations for a logistics centre.
Yeah, no, but Steve Barton, I'm surprised at him. He's actually been really good in terms of, dealing with this. His job is only to, what I've been told, is to only give the plan to government and they approve it. He's just going explaining what the council's thing is. He doesn't really have any much of a say. So from what I've been told. But he's really good. So 20% plus growth in Southall's businesses since 2015, with Southall's the third most affordable town in the borough. Surprise, surprise. This is the spiritual strategy, figure S2, which highlights the existing features of Southall, the transport links, including the Elizabeth line, where Southall's Elizabeth line station is, and then nearby transport links to London Underground. So we've got the District line, Central line, the Piccadilly line, trains, and the nearest National Rail in West Ealing from Southall. You've also got the development sites, which should be this little bit here, and the planning and all. What I mentioned to Steve Barton is the Elizabeth line. And is the Elizabeth, you need to consider Elizabeth line delays and what the council are doing to pressure TfL, which is Labour led, to kind of improve services and all that. And he just gave me the same answer that every politician gives.
Yeah, well, there is going to be an over dependency on the Elizabeth line, and this is before the end of 2038.
Mm.
And I've seen what happens when there are cancellations and delays, and how crowded the platforms become. So I think the reliance on one line to Heathrow and to central London is problematic with all the housing developments that are going up.
It also says here that the local plan takes into account parking facilities for the local population by Jas Molly. Um, um, from what was discussed in the plan and what I'm looking at, what I'm just we're discussing now, it doesn't really take into consideration parking spaces. They haven't thought this through. About when they're building the developments for residents who use cars, where the amount of car parking spaces. So they basically said to either walk or take public transport.
Yeah, with big heavy bags of chapati flour,
Yeah.
that's really going to be the best way to travel on buses that are overcrowded with people who've got their big suitcases traveling from one rented room to another.
It says here that Southall's role as a major centre in London's town centre hierarchy will be strengthened, but I haven't seen it as a role as a major centre. Major centre for what? You know, and it also says here that it's a cultural destination of national importance and a growing neighbourhood. It's connected to central London by the Elizabeth line, sits in close proximity to Heathrow, and is well connected to the wider West London road network. With this, quote, excellent connectivity should be capitalised on to diversify the town centre activities, intensify industrial lane, and bring new employment opportunities to the area. I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to ask you what your thoughts are on what I just said about that, because to me it doesn't really make any sense. Um,
Um, I'm going to use the words that Joe Bangu has used, or something similar, that basically Southall is a lost cause. And why I say that, I take one of my children to karate at Dormers Wells Leisure Centre on a Saturday morning, and the roads are relatively quiet, and it just gives me an opportunity to see all the construction sites, and to see um, the cranes, to see partially completed blocks in an area where probably an hour or so beyond the time I'm traveling, South Road is going to be chock-a-block with traffic. um I just feel really we are well on the way to becoming a dormitory town without the facilities and amenities that people need. And it's just going to widen the inequalities and ill health. Uh, yeah, definitely. I feel disillusioned to the extent I'm disinterested in actually commenting on uh, the plan. I just think when it comes to Southall, they will bend the plan. So a property developer will submit a plan. It won't quite be compliant with the tall buildings policy of either the local plan or the London plan, and that it will just be given consent. A plan is just a plan, and
I mean,
I think it's just very bendy and flexible in the poor areas of the borough.
it's not like this. I think all councils are doing this, and Hounslow are doing this for an example. But it's actually, I actually had a chance to go and look at that potential flats in different boroughs, and I have to say they are much better built and more of like to a quality standard than the ones that I'm seeing in Southall are. And it just goes to prove how out of touch Southall is as a town. I mean, fair enough, build flats, but build them in a more convenient location, and just not just one crammed around one place. Like, Hounslow Council are building it where it's going to be big enough and where there's decent links to places like the ones near the treaty centre. There's a couple of just new ones, and as you come to the junction on the 120, and when you go right, you got those little flats on the corner.
I don't know those flats in particular. I know the ones in front of Asda.
Yeah, those ones, and there's ones just as you come towards Hounslow, Heston, and Lambton Way.
Oh, I know. Are you talking
Uh,
about the former council headquarters?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I had a look. They let me in, and I'm 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 fairly pleased with the way they're built. You know, it's just the prices are too high.
Hmm.
They were.
I think you've
It's quite.
hit the nail on the head.
It's
It's
quite.
unaffordable
It's
for your
quite.
generation.
It's quite similar to the ones that they're building here. There's
Hmm.
about 400,000. I think is it 450, 410 or something like that. I think they were telling me. So like outright purchase one,
Hmm. Yeah,
and
the
then
same
renting
is
one.
happening. Same is happening in Hayes. I drove down. I think it's called Clayton Road. It's a one-way road,
Yeah,
and
it's
there are
basically.
flats, huge housing development, and I can see, why that site's chosen because it's walking distance to the Elizabeth line. Um, but it's kind of like mixed tenure because you've also got commercial businesses down that road. Well, to me, it looked really grim. And what is being built is not really suitable for families. Not enough space, as you've already said, lack of green space. And I read in one of the consultants' reports for the Barclays Bank development that a suitable space is Minute Country Park. Well, Minute Country Park from Southall Green is more than 20 minutes away, doesn't, fit in with the 20-minute neighbourhood. That's a ridiculous suggestion. Um, I just feel frustrated when you can see so much urbanisation happening. Really, that doesn't take into account the needs of the local population. And, I would hate to see really what Southall is like as a town in 20 years' time. I'm sure Joe can talk about his experiences with the gasworks development and antisocial behaviour.
I just think,
Groups of youths wandering
yeah,
about with nothing to do.
I think it's just gonna rise.
Yeah,
That's how I'm seeing it. I'm gonna stop it here. I'm gonna stop the sharing here because then we can
thank
discuss
you.
other things. Well,
Thank you.
I'll
I
post. I'll put.
appreciate I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
I tried explaining as much as I could from what I remember. I did try my best. I'll put this in the WhatsApp group as well, so everybody has it. So then, if you guys want to, you don't have to, because obviously it's in council. It's there for you to read. But this is what's going to be sent to local government. I think in a couple of weeks' time.
Well, the consultation closes on the 10th of April, so
So
there
yeah,
isn't
so a couple
long.
of weeks' time. And I'll also put in the email that they put in the Microsoft Teams app as well.
Yeah. Arjun, will you comment on the plan?
I'm going to. I just haven't had time because of some personal issues and of course university. So so fingers crossed when I should have time. I think tomorrow to go and do it
Hmm.
because I think it needs to be heard. I mean, um,
Well, just to let you know, Ealing Matters have done a lot of work on kind of like demystifying the plan, because it runs to many pages, and given guidance on how to actually respond. I did invite them to the meeting tonight, but they would prefer a separate meeting in person. So I have respectfully declined that, because I just don't have the amount of time. And I would say, honestly, the interest, as I said, based on how I am feeling at the moment, looking at all the construction works going on, I think it's too late for us. It's not often that I'm defeatist, but I have to look at where best to place my energies. But what I would say, Arjun, and I've said to Joe, if you want to meet with Ealing Matters, I've already passed on Joe's phone number and email. But Arjun, if you want to meet with them in person, let me know after this meeting, and I can pass on the email if you want to get in contact for a walkabout, or sit down meeting regarding the local plan.
Yeah, sure.
But anyway, welcome, Joe.
Thank you.
Do you have any comments to make on Arjan's presentation on the consultation for the local plan?
Well, the first question I have, Arjun, how many councillors were at this meeting?
It was one. It was Councillor John Martin was there, from what I can remember. I can't remember anyone else.
So I believe we have, correct me if I'm wrong, I estimate 12 councillors in Southall.
Not sure. Might be about 14 or 15.
I think it's
Well,
about 15.
I was counting them on the book.
Hmm.
You know, the council book.
What's that then, Joe?
Well, 3 in Norwood Green.
Oh, right, okay.
Sorry, the Green. Oh, maybe I missed out. Where is John Martin from? Norwood Green.
Norwood Green, I think.
So 15, I estimate, yeah?
Hmm.
So, yeah, I was missing 3 from Norwood Green. So, if we say that, for a start, where were all the 15 councillors? That's number one. Number two, they're discussing Southall. And yet, well, Arjun, how many people do you think turned up, residents from Southall?
I've got the Teams chat. I'll get it up and I can tell you. Hold on.
It's probably just a very small
1, 2,
handful.
3, 4.
Okay, so here we are. We've got the big plan for Southall. And you've got about 6, 7 people attending. And that's okay for the biased council. That's enough, is it? The population of Southall is probably 100,000. Maybe on record it's about 70,000. Correct me if I'm wrong. And yet we're not using Manor House. We're not using the Dominion Centre. We're not using one of the church halls. And yet we're holding it in Ealing.
Oh no, the meeting that Arjun attended
It was
was
online,
online. There were
Joe.
two.
It
There
was a
were two
webinar.
online. One in the daytime and one in the evening.
Sure.
And then they're doing the
Sure.
same in the other towns.
Yeah,
But
sure.
if you miss those meetings, they're doing drop-ins in Ealing Central Library. And my argument is, I've missed the
That's not good
meetings
enough.
due to no fault of my own. Didn't know about them. I'm not
No,
going to go
that's not
to
good enough.
Ealing.
No, Angela, all you have to do is write an email, yeah? And you do it to the chief executive, all right? And all you say is that the residents, yeah, as far as we're concerned, this is being done behind our back. We want every single household in Southall must be told, it's okay, I received an email. Everybody's not on the
Did
email.
you get the email, Joe? Because I didn't.
No, they put it on the normal one that they do, the one that they send you of what the council is doing. It's not specifically just for the Southall plan.
All right. Well, I missed that, and I think this is the big issue in Southall. Many of us are not online. We don't have access to the council website. Our data is limited if we, happen to have access to the internet. And I think it's unacceptable that they didn't provide an in-person meeting. What about all the people who don't have access, the disabled, the elderly and poor?
And we can demand that we're not happy. End of story. And we must get back to the chief executive of Ealing Council that, far as we're concerned, being the residents of Southall, that this is a farce. End of story. Once again, we all know the democracy in London Borough of Ealing. It's non-existent. It doesn't exist for the people of Southall. If you're not going to get 15 councillors interested in the big plan, what are these councillors standing for? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. And do they really represent us? Because I feel I'm not represented by our councillors. They're out of touch. They're out of date. They don't exist for the normal resident of Southall. And, this is the way politics is locally, unfortunately. But
Joe, honestly, looking around the area and seeing before the new draft local plan is actually, approved, the number of building sites around the train station makes me feel as though there's no point. It's too late. It was
it's okay.
More than a decade ago that people, white, wealthy, predominantly middle-class men decided what Southall as a town should be. Joe, can you unmute yourself? Yeah.
The story that I heard, that there was a few billionaires who were flying around Southall, and they realized, well, where the flats could turn up, like Brentford, for instance, Southall. But it's got to a stage now. We're canned in, basically. You cannot move. I was walking on South Road, and I've never seen so many people. It doesn't make sense. How many more people do we need in Southall? Why haven't they tried to get away with this in Ealing Common? Because the public there would not allow them. It seems as if there's anything, Southall will do. But where are the services? People are waiting hours for ambulances. The Metropolitan Police are running around. We see the vehicles running around, but you try to report something and they're very happy to give you a reference number. And it's sad. And it's only going to get worse because the services are not there. And we've been complaining about this since 2010. What about the hospitals? Where on earth are you going to put all these people? It's ridiculous.
I think it's an absolute insult to towns, to genuine towns, to call Southall a town. Well, we don't have, as Joe said, adequate hospital facilities. Ealing Hospital, has been sort of downgraded. There are no maternity services. There's no inpatient paediatric ward. Lots of referrals are now being made to Hillingdon Hospital. And, I'm kind of like in a position where I can go to other areas, to attend the cinema, to go bowling, to do my shopping. Leisurely activities. Yeah. Sorry, my daughter's just chipping in there. Which we are lacking massively in Southall. And she says she agrees. I mean, she's a youngster. And yeah, do you want to come and join the school?
No, I'm just saying kids roam the streets.
Right, she's saying kids roam the streets and it leads to crime. And yeah, you know, that is happening already, isn't it? You know, on the new developments where they're gaining entry into the lobbies and stealing deliveries and just bored witless because the youth centre, I think Arjan, you told me that's set to open in August. Why not before August? The school holidays start the end of July. That makes no sense to me.
And you say you mentioned Hillingdon Hospital.
Yeah.
That's even worse. You know,
Yeah, it's grim.
A&E times are longer there than they are Ealing. And it's just the best hospital that's local to Southall in terms of A&E waiting times is West Middlesex. They're not great, they're not bad, they're in the middle, but you get seen quicker at West Middlesex than Ealing or Hillingdon. We were sat I sat in A&E for my foot in West Middlesex for only an hour and I got seen. And then if I went we went to Ealing, we had to wait about 6-7 hours.
I haven't been to Ealing Hospital.
No, that's what I mean.
And
that's what I
same
mean,
with my
Angela.
family. We get referred to West Mid and then Chelsea and Westminster. You know,
that's what I mean,
and
Angela.
all these
You're better
services
off
that you think should be on your doorstep. Yeah. Anyway, Rush Pal. Yeah, I totally agree. Rush Pal, welcome. So we've been talking about the draft local plan, the Section 19 consultation that's happening at the moment, and residents have until 10th of April to comment on that. What are your views on Southall and how the town, so-called town, is developing?
To be honest, Angela. Hi, everyone. Sorry.
Hello.
To be honest, I'm just fed up, about everything what's going on around. I don't know where to start or where we are, how we can, go forward, and I don't know what will happen because we are, trying our best, and it is up to the people as well, only 3-4 of us are joining this meeting, and we need more people to, if they are concerned, these councils, they should have like a platform where everybody can, join and join the meetings, on online, or everybody, they go, different platforms, people have. They don't, they are not, getting together, and it is making, it's not working like that. And we need, I don't know how we can, improve ourselves.
Yeah, I think Rashpal people aren't happy with what is perceived as overdevelopment. And I think people are now just kind of like resigned to what is happening, sort of coupled with probably quite disillusioned, but a realization that it's not going to get any better, it's going to get worse. And people just need to find the best way to live their lives, to provide for their families, to go to work. And yeah, it is hard. The council doesn't engage. There was mention of town forums, including Southall Town Forum. I don't know if those actually exist. Have they started If so, how do people become involved? Where are the meetings held? It's just ridiculous. You know, we've lost the ward forums, but the replacement, the Southall Town Forum, well, where is it?
Peter Mason said to me that when I went to Sharma's youth meeting,
Mm.
he said that they're on they're on last Friday, the last Friday of every month at about 7 o'clock in the evening.
What? Are you talking about the Southall Town Forum
Yeah.
or surgeries?
The
Because the council,
surgeries. Sorry, the surgeries he was on about.
the council of surgeries. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
a couple of times I've turned up to the Dominion Centre on the last Friday of the month,
No,
and
he
not
said
one
he told me
council's turned up.
he told me the town hall.
The town hall
Yeah.
on the last Friday.
Yeah, he told me the
Don't know what
town
he's on
hall.
about. Joe probably knows. I
When
mean,
it's a bunch of nonsense.
I'm not going to go to the town hall
And
when the Dominion
and then
Centre's down the road and in the heart of the ward that he supposedly represents. That's nonsense.
in the when I went to the meeting for Hanwell in Hanwell in October, he told me it's in the Dominion Centre the last Friday of every month.
Yeah, that'll be the council of surgery. So
So
in
that's what I was going to ask
theory,
you
he should be
because I got confused.
available along with councillors Dinser and Anand. As I said, on a couple of occasions I've turned up and not one of them, and there's no notification, no reason given by the caretaker. And other people have turned up and you know, in the same predicament as myself and end up just walking away because that is the level of
Passion care.
yeah, you know, it's not respect, disrespect, you know, it's disrespect for the community, disregard. And you know, that's how it is. They'll still get the votes because I think people look at the bigger picture and perceive, obviously, the Conservatives to be a worse deal. But obviously, it'd be interesting to see what happens with the mayoral election. And one of the independent candidates has reached out to us, and hopefully, Cash is going to have a meeting with her next week, so we'll see. And you know, I'm not kind of like hopeful. I mean, I guess probably there'll be a lot of canvassing, but no real regard as to what is actually happening and how our lives are diminishing. It's just all about power. Yeah. That, you know, as I said, you know, I look at my time now and I think, well, actually, I think for me, this is me personally, it's a pointless exercise to actually comment on the plan, which requires, you know, vast amount of time to actually read documents. And, you know, I'm an ordinary person. I've got to combine it with my home life, my working life, looking after my health. And I have to think, well, what's the benefit going to be? And I just think, actually, if I do it, it's going to take up my time I can't recover. So yeah, my feeling is that it's pointless.
What I've done, I've put the link to the plan PDF and then the
Is it in the chat?
WhatsApp group.
Oh yeah.
So I've put it in the WhatsApp group and the video link for Southall webinar, the webinar for Southall, because they recorded it and put it on YouTube. And I've also put the PDF that I shared here in the group as well. I also I just realised I haven't linked to the website, so where all the other there's 2 other PDFs that I haven't shared. So I'll link the website; it'll all be on there.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, and
yeah,
hopefully, if people want to, you know, you've made that available. But I think it's really poor of the council not to actually look at engagement in a more effective way in a poor area, and simply holding online webinars isn't good enough.
I mean, looking at but they did hold one this morning, which had a lot more in the because I attended the evening one. There were a lot more people that attended the morning one because it was a Friday. So
So when was this?
this was last Monday. So that
Oh yeah, yeah.
remember I phoned you where they discussed it. Um,
And how many people attended the evening meeting?
the evening one was 4 people. Well, 4 people.
Oh, sorry, what you said 4, but you don't
Yeah,
know
so
how many
that
people attended the daytime.
the daytime one we had about 15, I think it was
15.
20. But I think
Yeah,
because of it
still
depended
not
on
great.
work. It depended on work. But yeah, overall, I felt it was quite a disappointment, and I felt really offended by Councillor John Martin's comments about knowing about the transport network, because he said, "Oh, I know bus routes better than you do,"
Well, that's quite offensive, actually.
and he was thinking about introducing, and then he said he didn't even apologise to me, no nothing about that afterwards,
Hmm.
I was.
No, that's really condescending to say he knows bus routes more than you. I mean, where's the evidence of that?
Angela, he's telling me to, this was a conversation from October 2022. He told me, right, that he can extend the E5 from Southall, the Top Locks estate, housing estate, to West Middlesex. And then it was a long conversation, but then he stopped responding when I said it's not going to happen. And then I thought to myself,
Yeah.
this gentleman, sorry, he's a councillor for Norwood Green. Yeah, he's talking about Southall. He doesn't even have a clue what he's talking about.
Yeah, I think it's in one of the reports in relation to the application for the logistics centre, and I'm sure there's reference made to a bus route not as not being very likely. So it could be the bus route you're talking about.
He's saying
Yeah.
he in the webinar he was talking about getting a link to West Middlesex from Ealing from Ealing Hospital to West Middlesex, going through Southall, Norwood Green, and then going in through the London Borough of Hounslow through Heston, and then around the back to West Middlesex.
Mm.
Around the back roads, going past West Thames College, and then straight down past Isleworth, going around the Bush corner, going around the back. So apparently he is really Equex is urging pushing TfL to get a route out.
Well, good luck. Because obviously TfL will be looking at, the revenue. Is it profitable
And
to
to be
run a
honest,
route?
it's not profitable at all. I mean, resources are going to take a long time to get through. There's a backlog of resources for other routes that they've contracted out, because we're going electric and everything now. So it's one with electric bus orders are going back 2 years. Some orders that companies have put out from 2022 are coming through now. You've got the issue of finding drivers. You've got the bus issue, space, and location for the route. Where's it going to run from? Councillor John Martin, he talks, he can talk the talk, but he doesn't know anything. Yet he knows everything about buses. He doesn't know like I do.
Yeah, I think if he's anything like the local
You can watch the
councillors,
YouTube video. It's in the
yeah,
YouTube video where he's mocked me. So
Southall Green, yeah, that's out of order.
and
They don't
it's in the public
engage.
domain
They don't
now.
engage. So how do they know about the public and what the public wants? They haven't got a clue. They live in a sort of moral vacuum, really. But anyway, can we move on? because what I'd like to talk about is loneliness. And I think that is becoming an issue, particularly if we look at all the developments and the projected increase in population. We don't have a community centre in Old Southall. And on a social media site, I won't mention the name, somebody on behalf of a friend said, my friend is on his own. You know, I can't meet with him as often as he would like because I've got my own family, and he's offering to meet people for a meal and he'll pay for it. And as soon as I heard that, alarm bells started ringing, because loneliness can make you vulnerable. And it could be that people respond and say, yes, they're available to go out for a meal, not because they're interested in really befriending this guy, but to take advantage of his generosity. And it made me think we should have somewhere, and I'm going to call it a community centre, where people can go. They can do maybe some classes, like fitness classes.
It can serve as a warm hub.
Sorry.
It can serve as a warm
Oh, right.
hub.
My daughter just said it can serve as a warm hub. It can be a place where people go and have a cup of coffee and a cake and get chatting to other people.
The mother centre though.
What else?
Mother centre. Mother centres.
Mother centres. Often with young mothers. Yeah, a place where young mothers can meet. Sorry, I'm getting some information from my daughter who's listening in to the call. Yeah, and you know, we just do not have that facility. And I think it is something that is going to, the absence of such a facility, lead to increasing depression, isolation, loneliness, and older people in particular being vulnerable to being exploited, and things like romance scams. And you know, my view is, yes, the churches and the mosques, the gurdwaras and the mandirs are very, very important in our community, and I do not disrespect the work that they do. But equally, people need a space, a secular space, to join together and to build a community. And it just makes me so sad that I can't think of anywhere. You know, it's just really devastating to think that Ealing Council made a decision and sold off the community centre, which coincidentally is now subject to a planning application for housing. You know, we need affordable housing, yes, but we also need amenities for a growing population. And I was thinking, you know, even, I don't know, this crossed my mind, maybe to find somewhere where we could meet up, I'm just saying hypothetically, on a Saturday morning, where we can, you know, have a tea or coffee and just hang out together. I mean, I thought about approaching the Prince of Wales pub, because that is on a bus route. There's also the Scotsman, but that's a little bit off the beaten track. But if you have ideas, please let me know. Joe, do you want to go ahead? I see you've raised your hand.
Thank you, Angela. Angela, it's very simple. It belongs to the people of Southall. We've obviously paid with our council tax. I believe Manor House should be opened. That's what it's there for. And it's our right, and we should also demand it from the council, and the councillors. And Manor House is the place. I mean, that Dominium Centre is not cheap, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing to do with the community. It's a money-making machine. So Manor House is what we want, what we need, and it belongs to the residents of Southall. Now, they've once tried to give it to their friends, as you know, and they pulled out. So no, we, the people of Southall, deserve Manor House. And if the council doesn't like this, then perhaps, you know, we should take them before a judge, because their behavior is not correct to the people of Southall. They still think that the Empire is running, and the new name for the Empire's office is Ealing Council. They're very much mistaken.
Joe, I wrote to our MP, Virendra Sharma, and I asked him very respectfully, could he write to Ealing Council to find out why Manor House is closed and whether it could be used as a community centre. And his response was, contact the councillors yourself. So what is the point of my councillor who will write letters when he deems it appropriate to Ealing Council, but on a matter of social cohesion, he's told me, do it yourself? And, you know, I just think it illustrates he's a complete waste of space.
There's an old saying, I'm all right, Jack, sod the rest.
Yeah.
That's exactly the contempt that we are getting from our councillors, the contempt that we are getting from our MP, and the contempt that we are getting from Ealing Council. We, the people's voice, has to be loud, because you're dealing with people who are ignorant. They don't care about us, and that's the problem.
But Joe, I don't know what the sum is, but it must have been millions to refurbish Manor House, because the plan back in, I think it was 2014, but don't quote me on that, was to open it as a restaurant training establishment. So they installed a state-of-the-art catering kitchen. It's never been used. Yeah. I've only been to Manor House a couple of times, and that was in relation to Let's Go Southall, doing some sort of consultation, and the local plan meeting last winter. Surely it costs money to keep a building closed. Yeah. An empty building still needs maintenance. It might need background heating to prevent damp and mold growth. There may be security who patrol. All of that costs the public purse. Why is it closed? I mean, the last I heard, it was supposed to be a facility for people who need business space. Yeah, that fell through. So what's the plan? Why should a building that's cost the taxpayer millions be closed? You know, the next space is Southall Town Hall. Why isn't Southall Town Hall a designated warm space? Why don't they
They're incompetent, Angela. They're incompetent. They don't know what they're doing. They do not know what they're doing. They're incompetent. That's the word for them. I've seen them coming to the post office on the Broadway, and they're afraid of the residents. They're afraid of the public. Sharma used to come, the MP. He used to stand around for a while. As soon as he sees a bus, he disappears. You know, once he says to me, I'm going around the corner, I'll be back. We never saw him again. They don't care.
But you know,
they have no love,
meetings,
no pride.
Is it monthly meetings? Monthly meetings at Southall Southall Community Alliance hold in the town hall. Yeah, I mean, what annoys me is that you'll get people turning up, council officers, Evelyn Gloyn is one. You know, why aren't they attending meetings hosted by the council, not hosted by a charitable organisation? It makes no sense to me, other than it's a tick box to say, yeah, we engage with the community. Yeah, you're engaging with a preferred, if you like, inverted commas, partner, but you're not reaching out to the wider community.
Angela, to those that they are funding, they feel at ease. To those that they are funding, they feel safe. To those that they are funding, they feel that they would get the right answers back to their questions. It's a fix. It's always been a fix. And many years ago, I remember telling you that only time will tell how you will feel about the way things are run in Southall. And I think you've come to that stage now, where you're looking around and you're thinking, what is it all about?
And what's the point?
Right, Jack.
Yeah.
I'm all right, Jack. Sod the rest. Me, 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 me. That's all they're about. Unfortunately. I've been watching this for the last 45 years. Very sad, isn't it?
But what chance is there of change? You know, we can look at what's happened in Rochdale. Could something similar happen in Southall?
Well, the way I've been speaking to people, and everybody's upset with the system. And I think they've had their laugh. They've had their laugh. Their days are numbered. People have just had enough. You know, people have had enough. Everybody's fed up with them. Because it's the same old, same old, same old. False promises. We had one gentleman standing there with us one Saturday, and I was amazed of the information he was giving me. And he pointed at our MP and he said, "You can't trust this man." And I felt bad, because when we were teenagers, we were always happy that our community members would come forward. They will stand tall for the community. But seriously, we've been let down very badly. Very badly.
Yeah, you can see that in certain Facebook groups, particularly when there are photographs of all the developments, and people say Southall is ruined. They are most dissatisfied with the developments, and you know, but I just feel it will just go on and on. The NHS will pick up the bill for people who are suffering depression and ill health caused by the pollutants from all these construction sites that we are surrounded with. It's a really grim and bleak outlook. And I don't know whether you'll meet up with Ealing Matters, but I think, yeah, it's a good idea. Take them on a tour, because people often just will look at the figures and the developments on paper. Come and see what it's like for yourself. It's a living nightmare. It's horrendous. But yeah, you're right in relation to loneliness. Why don't we have a community centre? You know, and actually, you know, that should be Manor House. Why is it shut? It belongs to the people. We taxpayers are paying for the upkeep and maintenance of that building. Yeah. So
can I just say something about that?
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into details of it, but my sister's like that. Her friends have moved out. They've gone far away. You know, she's by herself. And you know, like even going to the NHS for like mental support help, it's like we can't even get help for. You know, they have their own. We have CAMs in for Ealing, but that's oversubscribed, and now she's gonna have to be on the waiting list. It's been a year now. It's going to be another year until she gets seen, and she's struggling. You know, I have to sit with her for few minutes a day, just you know, and just making sure she's okay mentally and stably. And then and then that's it. She's fine. And you know, I've also got a friend living in Norwood Green. She's struggling with her mental health and depression as well, because she has no friends apart from me. And you know, she's having difficulties breathing because of the air she's breathing in South, uh, even the air she's breathing. And you know, she's in Norwood Green and she's having breathing problems, and you know, it's making her feel really depressed, really upset, really sad. You know, it's just like
Yeah, air
it's just
pollution
like
is linked to ill health, both
and she's
physical and mental. And
and she's 18 and she's
yeah,
going through a lot of stuff already in her life with because she wasn't fit as a baby. She was struggling to breathe when she was a baby, and yeah, you know, and she was struggling to do other personal things that I'm not going to go into because for her own her request, I'm not going to say that. But you know, it's just too much. And you know, my grandma who lives across the road from me, she is actually sleeping with a mask on, a breathing mask. Otherwise, she'll stop breathing, and then that's it. Death. She's done. You know, she has to wear that mask. She's got no other choice.
the air pollution in Southall is hideous. And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and I take on board what you said about mental health. And the more that people are isolated, in my mind, that increases the likelihood of depression. And you know, simple things like having amenities that people can access make a huge difference. Anyway, you talked about it's shocking that you know your grandmother has to sleep with a mask, and I've put this in the chat. Last week, Ealing Council launched an air quality website. I don't know if you've seen it, but I've put the
Yes,
link in the chat box.
I just don't bother to read anything about cleaner from Ealing Council. I just don't bother. I mean, we all know that you know, like you
Is
observed
it a
yourself.
trust? Is it a trust issue for you?
Ever since I started this, I've spoken to Councillor Peter Mason about the cycling plant. It's just a complete lack of trust. I just don't trust Labour anymore.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah,
I used to,
I can understand that. I mean,
and I used to be a Labour supporter. I used to
yeah,
support Labour, but now I've looking at how Labour are in our town. It's made me think otherwise. That you know, Labour are actually pathetic.
yeah. I feel really they are on a mission to conceal the extent of air pollution in Southall. And the reason why I say that, there were 3 air quality monitors surrounding the gasworks site, and they were closed in November last year, about a month after Berkeley Group submitted their planning application. Well, why, you know, were they closed when they are in the air quality action plan and are funded until 2027 for the life of the action plan? It makes me very suspicious.
I asked Peter Mason that exact question, exactly the way you just asked me it now. He didn't have any response. He had no response. He was speechless. Could not come up with an excuse, Angela, because he was that quiet.
Yeah, well, it's all on they're on a mission, really, to support the property developer, because They don't want us knowing how badly our health is being affected. Yes, there are 2 monitors, one at Havelock Primary School. No idea where it's located. Could be hidden away somewhere, which affects the readings. And one I think is near Guru Nanak Sikh School in Norwood Green. But those aren't the busiest roads, Arjan, yeah? Why aren't there monitors outside of Hamborough Primary School on South Road? We're locals, we know how busy South Road is. You've also got St Anselm's School on the Green, yeah? Another busy, congested road. And finally, off the top of my head, Featherstone Primary School on Western Road. That is.
I mean, even Derry Meadow Primary.
Yeah, but they're going out of their way to hide the extent of air pollution. So yeah, trust is a big issue when they've made a conscious decision to shut air quality monitors down, giving Bartley Group a helping hand. It's because I look at the air quality monitor near where I live on the Breathe London network, and at times there are very noticeable spikes, and I link that to my health. If I start feeling a bit wheezy, if I've got a sore throat and I'm coughing, and it is interesting to look at the data. And Ealing Council, I think, are in a state of denial to a certain extent to ease the progress of their property developer pals.
Can I just say one thing? Do you know the link, the Clean Air E-link?
Yeah.
That you put in?
Yeah,
They don't update it as regularly, and this is what really, excuse my language, but it really pisses me off. That they can't even update it throughout the day. Like,
yeah.
I'm looking at it now. Last time it was updated. Oh, it's gone. It keeps on. Hold on. The last time it was updated was 6 a.m. today.
6 a.m.
Yeah.
Which site do you know?
Just all of Ealing, where there's the the monitors.
Oh, okay. I can't actually see that at the moment.
Like every time I refresh it,
yeah.
Every time I refresh it, it says last update is 6 a.m. And I can't
6 a.m.
even
this
change.
morning. That's just
I can't even change the boundary. I can't even change the network. I can't do anything to it.
Yeah, yeah. I am frustrated by the removal of monitors close to the building sites in Southall. And
I'm just concerned about South Road. As I'm walking up South Road, just breathing the air near there as I'm walking up there.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll let Joe and be quiet.
Yeah, okay. I'm having a look. I don't know what you were looking at, but it says the Havelock Primary School sensor was last updated at 7 o'clock. And Kelsey School was updated at 7 o'clock. So you have to click on the actual indicators on the map, and then you can view site data. But I have to work according to what who said there's no safe level of air pollution. And so I'm losing my words at the moment. you know, they don't, you know, for instance, the council officer who said he's all into community engagement. And I suggested dates to meet. And this is a couple of months ago, and, you know, I've not had a response. You know, I've come to the conclusion, well, you don't want to engage with us. You don't want to deal with what you perceive to be challenging questions. You keep wanting to sort of deflect, and you know, you are not taking into account our local expertise, our local knowledge. I was walking down, what road was it? Durley Road, and then onto Caxton Road, and the wind was blowing towards me. And the smell, the burning smell, was terrible. Yeah. So, you know, I'm sure a lot of people are aware, but I mean, in my case, there's a frustration. What's the point of reporting this? Because nothing happens. You know, we're constantly sort of battling all the time for entitlement to better air quality. Joe, do you want to go ahead?
Two separate items. We're talking about the air monitors. So where are these air monitors exactly in Southall?
There's one at not Hamborough, what's the other school?
You said Havelock Primary School.
Sorry,
and there's
Havelock,
one
sorry,
at
yeah, sorry. Brain's
Southall
goes it. Havelock Primary
Norwood
School
Green.
and Kelsey Primary School.
Okay.
So if you know Norwood Green, yes,
I know,
it is
I know,
it's
I know,
busy,
I
but
know.
not all that. It's not like South Road, yeah, in terms
know.
of the traffic.
I know. So that's wrong for a start. Okay. So if we want to send them a message, the message would be there should be one outside the school on Western Road, near close to Brent Road, where the temple is.
Yeah.
That's where we need a monitor. We need a monitor on South Road. How many monitors did they say they have?
The thing is, they don't want to place monitors where it's obviously
No,
heavily polluted.
How many do they have?
Well, I don't think they're going to add any more to Southall. That's what you're asking, Joe. They've removed 3 from Southall. Their game is to really not draw attention to how bad the air pollution is. So they're very selective as to where they have chosen the sites. Yeah. Council School, don't understand Norwood Green, because yes, okay, it's busy at school drop-off and pick-up times, but it's not continuously busy like South Road is during the day. You know, my kids went to
Angela, they're in
Primary
denial.
School. Yeah.
They're in denial. That's a fact. They've always been in denial. When it comes to Southall, London Borough of Ealing, they're in denial. It's very simple. Even a blind man can see what's going on. Even a deaf man knows what's going on.
The thing is, what gets to me, Joe,
the empire is live and kicking, and the empire now is controlled by Ealing Council.
Yeah. What gets to me, Joe, they Sorry, I interrupted you. Say that again.
They're a bunch of hypocrites. When it comes to Southall people don't matter. And it's been like this for 70 odd years. Our councillors are not up to it. They're not up to their job. They should all be sacked. We, the people of Southall, should sack all the councillors, because it's a waste of space. I was told something from a councillor last week, and I believe he's been a councillor maybe 30 years. And he said, well, Mr. Bangu, you know, I'll write to the director of parking. It was a situation we had with one of our local residents. And he said, but they don't listen to us. And that done my head in. What is the use of having councillors if the officers are more powerful? Do you see where I'm coming from? If the officers are not listening to the councillors, then what's the use of us having councillors?
It's like you know.
Arjun, the future should be that in the 7 towns of which make up London Borough of Ealing, we should sack all the councillors, and all we should have is a mayor from every single town. So you'll have 7 mayors standing up to these bully boy officers of Ealing Council. It's very simple.
Hmm.
The council at the moment is taking control of everything. How dare they not show respect or listen to our councillors that we've voted for? They're supposed to be our voice, the voice of the people.
Mhm.
And if they're not listening to our councillors, then democracy is down the toilet, isn't it? Let's be frank. The gentleman's been a councillor for 30 years. And at the end of the telephone conversation,
But do you believe
he
him,
says to
Joe,
me,
that he's so weak
yes,
that the council
yes,
officers
I
don't
do.
listen to him?
I do believe that because he actually said that to me.
Hmm.
And I was shocked and horrified. Is this our democracy? Are we living in some sort of cardboard box for the truth to come out? And the truth is out now. I will be making short films and I will be questioning the councillor who said this to me on the telephone. It's a joke. Our democracy concerning London Borough of Ealing is a joke. Unless, of course, we dismantle Ealing Council and it goes back to us having our own council in Southall Town Hall as it used to be. And every town does the same. And we dismantle it completely. Because London Borough of Ealing is out of control.
Yeah,
they're
more
in
local
denial.
accountability. Yeah,
Angela,
because we are the poor relation.
Angela, but the revenue they're collecting from the people of Southall is shocking. It is actually shocking. Parking permits have gone up from £45. I renewed a vehicle on the 1st of this month, £195. And then I speak to the residents, some are paying £250 and not find a parking space in the 12 streets or those 12 roads where we live. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's out of control.
On a poor population, and it's not resolving the parking issues. It's even though the council deny it, it's revenue raising.
They're on the run.
It's income.
No,
More
Angela,
income for them.
The councillor are on the run. You yourself just said that you've been trying to get in hold of an officer from Ealing Council and you can't get hold of him.
He said, I'm all for community engagement. So I suggested dates and he hasn't bothered to respond. It's like getting blood out of a stone. Yeah, but I was going to say, going back to air quality, the emphasis is on the individual. Ealing is putting the emphasis on the individual to stop driving, to walk and to cycle and to use public transport.
That's because the London Borough of Ealing are deaf, blind.
But there's no reference to the major polluters we've got in the area, all the construction sites. What about them curbing air pollution and having proper mitigations in place? Because as you said, you were walking around your area and it was very dusty. Yeah. What about the 2 asphalt plants who belch out fumes on the westerly wind, affecting residents in Southall?
If the council was a private company, they would have been sacked years ago. London Borough of Ealing is not fit for purpose. That's what I'm trying to say to you. They're hiding. I've spoken to a resident. He sent an email to the councillor, no reply. He sent an email to Ealing Council, no reply. We resolved the situation, okay? Because we're humble people, all right? We discuss, we speak, we share thoughts. That's where the power is. And we get things done. But they're in denial. Look at Southall Post Office.
What is the latest? I mean, obviously it's shut.
The 2 councillors from West Ward never turned up.
Yeah.
The 2 councillors for the Broadway, Mr. Khan and what's her name? Nagpal.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were nowhere to be seen to take down or write down take names of people.
They're not interested. And on the last day, I saw somebody, an elderly person, going in. I didn't realise it was the last day, with walking sticks. Yeah. is it right or is it fair that they should be going to post offices in areas which are not easily accessible for them?
Angela,
As you said, where were the local councillors?
well, that's why I'm saying we're not represented.
Hmm.
If Mr. Sharma thinks that he can turn up with 2-3 councillors and a few of his pensioner friends and take a picture and catch the first bus, that's not good enough. If we did not do the petition, nothing would have happened. At least we showed concern. You know,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
went.
So yeah, for
went.
Mr. Sharma, it's a photo opportunity.
Well, that's what they think. They think that they can stand in front of a camera, take a picture, and they can show the cause that they were there. They're happy with that. He wouldn't have gone to 10 Downing Street. When's the last time Mr. Sharma has ever gone to 10 Downing Street with a petition? I would like to know. It's a farce. The politics.
He's useless. He
in
hardly ever
Southall-
asks a question in Parliament. And when he does speak,
It's more kind of like
he's weak.
quiet and weak. And apparently he claims he meets up. He tried meeting up with the CEO of the post office about the closure of Southall. What's this thing? Southall Post Office. I don't think.
Isn't it Mike Reed? Isn't it Mike Reed? Is it Mike Reed?
I think so.
The CEO.
I think so. I don't know his actual name.
CEO. If we didn't do what we did, yeah, I believe we collected 9,500 signatures. So people are concerned about their local services, and we would have done the same. And I made this very clear. I was on Desi Radio one morning, and I said it was me who told the councillors in a council meeting when we did have the ward forums that Southall Police Station is going to shut down, and they laughed at me. Oh, Mr. Bangu, if that was the case, we would know about it. Well, who's got egg on their face now? Mr. Khan's got egg on his face. Ex-councillor Gupta's got egg on his face. And Mr. Verma, who was a councillor, he's got egg on his face. That's how it works.
It's been closed for a number of years, hasn't it?
Exactly, but they laughed in the meeting. They actually laughed at me.
Oh, they're ridiculous. They don't care. They don't know. They don't understand the community that they are supposedly serving. And Joe, you have to. Are you? You know, I don't know if you want to announce about what your plans are, but I'll leave that down to you. But we need.
Hopefully, I would like to stand as an independent at the next general election, and I'll give them a run for their money, basically.
Well, if the independent guy came second in Rochdale, that should give you impetus. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I don't know what else have we got lined up.
Fingers crossed,
Angela.
Sorry, say again?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to mention the Youth Community Forum.
Please
again,
do.
that was another PR exercise for Virendra Sharma. Because I arrived about 5-10 minutes late. So we had about an hour. I had an hour and 25 minutes. So in that hour and 25 minutes, I only have got a chance to speak, to ask one question. The panelists there were obviously Peter Mason, superintendent, some of the superintendents from police service, and Johan Redling, who's in charge of young adult mental health in the NHS. And then that's it. There was one other panelist, don't remember her name. It was quite a good turnout for young people. It was about, I counted about 25, 30 people. I wouldn't say it was a good turnout. It was an average expected turnout, let's say, instead. Most of the questions asked were about, like youth work, police engaging with schools, to talk about crime, and like how they say blowing up the gas and all that. So I got to ask about the cam service. That's what my sister's on.
So what service, Arjan?
The cams,
Oh,
the
CAMS. Yeah.
adolescent mental health service.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting, and I did Johan to take my contact details down, and it's been 3 weeks, and he said he'll contact me in about a week. It's been two, I haven't got a response. So much for a response on helping my sister get the help she needs. So yeah, but the long story short, is expected PR stunt for Sharma. Sharma sat in the audience. He wasn't as part of the panel sitting with Peter Mason.
So
And,
he didn't answer any questions then. Is that
No.
what you're saying?
Yep.
Yeah. But it's also as you say, PR stunt.
I also got this pen from
The chances are probably at least one member of the audience was groomed to and selected to answer safe questions. Yeah.
No.
Oh, to ask, sorry, apologies, wrong way around. To ask safe questions to be answered by the panel. And these would probably be young people connected to Virendra Sharma or the local councillors.
And at the end of this, I'm not sure if you can see it. Got a
What's
pen.
that?
A pen.
You got a pen. Are you easily bought then, Arjan? Is a pen enough for you?
A pen is not enough for me. I'd rather have him take action and sort crap around it that needs sorting out. But
oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he's a letdown. I told him straight to his face, we've just been let down. And I'm not when it comes to our MP or any people that I'm against, right? I'm just straightforward and said to him, "You're let down." I didn't say it like that to him, but I just kind of said to him, I've been let down by what Labour are doing here.
He doesn't care unless he's at risk of either being deselected or not winning in the next general election. That's all he's bothered about.
He only cares for a couple of weeks every 4 years, 5 years, or whatever time the next general election is. Yeah,
absolutely hopeless. And there was something I wanted to say, and I can't remember. I'm starting to lose my mind, Arjan. It's the air pollution.
Yeah.
It's causing me to just lose my health, really. And I don't know. I mean, I know what I was going to say. Let's hope the meeting goes ahead with one of the candidates in the mayoral election, and I hope you can come along to that meeting. So
if you let me know the time and the date.
Yeah, it's not actually set up yet, but hopefully next week. And I also hope to get in contact with an individual who wrote a really groundbreaking article on the effect of gentrification. And she actually referenced Southall. So my intention is to invite her to a forthcoming meeting, because it's quite a revelation listening to somebody who gets our situation, who understands how effectively we are under attack. Yeah. Is there anything else to discuss for tonight, or shall we draw the meeting to a close?
Just a bit. We need. I did mention Emerald Square to Virendra Sharma. I pulled him aside, and he said, "Okay, I'll get on the case. So no, we won't get nowhere. I need to.
That's a fob off. You'll never hear from him. Or if you do, it'll be a very weak, inadequate response. And,
because and do you know what it is, Angela? I'm not sure if you noticed this, but Greenland our bins are not being collected properly every week.
What do you know? Okay, what's your collection day?
Monday.
Do you know what bins were collected on Monday? Was it the black bin?
I think so.
Oh, okay. The reason why I asked,
But-
I got it confused. I put the recycling bin out instead of the black bin.
No, we just leave it there, and the bin men come. But sometimes they don't bother to turn up, and I'm not going to contact anybody because I know it's not going to get dealt with. So
Yeah, you can report it as a missed collection on the council website.
you know,
And they're
I've done
supposed
that.
to come the next. You've done it.
I've done that. They haven't come the next day.
They haven't come the next day.
No.
Pointless. Yeah, absolutely
So
pointless.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
yeah,
yesterday we witnessed, you know, the fly tipping.
yeah.
The van comes along, parks up for a few seconds, then drives off. I was so upset that I actually took time to phone the council. So these vehicles, they're paid to collect the fly tipping items that are left on the footpath. And all this guy did, he just drove around. I had to make a point. So I rang Ealing Council and I asked them, please do not waste our hard-earned money like this. Because we pay our rates, we pay our council tax, and we're not getting the services. So you're 100% right. The other thing, Angela, Arjun, that people are complaining about, the residents, is they'll pick the bin up, collect it from within your garden space, and they won't always put the bin back. The bin will be
They leave
on the
it.
footpath.
Do you know how dangerous it is? Do you know how
Yeah.
crazy it is? It's come to the point where they leave it on the road, not even alone on the pavement.
We've had a bad winter with the wind blowing, and then those wheelie bins are falling all over the place, hitting people's cars. Now, would the residents in Kingston upon Thames allow this to happen? Will the residents in Epsom allow this to happen? They're taking liberties of us, and this is what needs to stop. Ealing Council is not fit for purpose. You want to see the sort of wages that these people are on. I would not hire them to wash my car, let alone run Southall or the borough.
Yeah.
It's shameful. It's
We're on
shameful.
the receiving end of very poor service.
Of course, Angela. When is the mayoral
2nd
people
of May.
having 2nd of May? Yeah.
The
No,
election.
no,
You talk about the election?
No, you said they're having a meeting or something.
Well, hopefully with one of the candidates, week commencing the 25th, so next week, I will let you know, and Arjan, on WhatsApp, because it's useful, I think, for somebody who isn't that familiar with our situation to hear our story, and let's see if we can
Well done.
impact upon them that, you know, this disadvantage is because we are a predominantly ethnic minority community in Southall.
Of course.
Yeah. But anyway, can we close the meeting? I just want to know if Rashpal, do you want to add anything before we close the meeting?
Just the same, old thing. I don't know how to, stop all this nonsense. It's going on. And these leaders are not doing much to support us. They should support the communities and everything, but they are not doing their job. So we are just, doing our bit, to help if it helps. And, like especially where I live, it's worse area to live, around Broadway. It's
You're
at
in the
night,
middle.
it's
You're in the middle.
nightmares.
Of course.
Yeah.
The
And also
Broadway,
these
South
bins you
Road,
talk,
the traffic.
It's not just the Broadway, everybody. It's all of Southall. It's not just the Broadway. We all know Southall is hell to live in.
yeah, it
Yeah.
is a,
But
like recent past, it's gone worse, it's going, and I'm fed up with everything, what is going on around, with all, they are not have, like suitable services for anybody, like from young people to old, they are all suffering, and I don't know what they want to lock them, jail them. They are jailing, they have jailed them in their homes and in their areas, and it got to be sorted, and people should come together, and like they should come together, and they choose what is good for them, like all together, and
But
it's
you know, it's
sorry.
it's because this propaganda, right, Rashpal, that that Eden Council are putting out there. If they're brainwashing people, they're brainwashing other residents, apart from the four of us, right, that we know that what they're doing is wrong. You, me, Joe, Angela, we all know they're rubbish. Huh?
Mhm.
They're brainwashing residents into thinking that what the work that Labour are doing for Southall, or let alone the whole borough of Ealing, and including 7 towns, Hannah, is right. It's not.
No, nothing. Because it's not much they are doing, and people suffering. Like if they are traveling, it's very hard to go on the roads. Even don't
It's
think.
hard to do. Is it hard to do anything in Southall, Rashpal? It's quite
Yeah,
cheap. Is down which you have to go out to Hounslow, John O'Banner, Haysby, John O'Banner, everywhere. I even have to go out of borough to go and do things.
yeah,
Hannah?
so much noise pollution. You can hear people talking all the time. Like they are swearing. I can hear from my road. They're
Antisocial
swearing in
behaviour as well.
Punjabi
Huh?
and other languages. They don't have any manners.
No, no,
Some
it's
of the people.
Southall
And
is all of Southall's like this. Southall, for all the reasons we discussed, is just going downhill.
like the urinating outside, I don't know, they put the like this they charging some money for spitting. What about the urinating in the public places? Why can't they, even the people they hire, they are useless. They are not doing their jobs properly. Like these people, all the services are rubbish. Even I call the police and they not turn up. They said we can't do much, about the noise. This
Because they think it's a waste of time because they have a lack of officers.
there's a call
That's why.
101. You know,
uh,
people can get, anything can happen. How violent. One time I've been witness a long time ago. They nearly killed one, like a black boy over there.
hmm.
They all, a lot of them, like they beat him, they, stabbed him, and I saw the even blood, and that terrified me. And these things I heard on the news all the time, on the social media, and it's getting worse. I don't know what
Yeah,
to do.
I agree,
Can we-
Rashpal. The future is bleak, and even more so with cramming more and more people into an area that is going to be bursting at the seams.
They
Um,
bring, they're
yeah,
bringing more and more people. They instead of they building these flats, they should build something like factories or something. People can, go work offices. They can earn some money. What they will do in the flats? People coming and they don't have anything, any jobs, or
well, it's for the
I'm
wealthy people who can afford it, and they'll be jumping onto the trains on the Elizabeth line to go into central London, and they're not
Can I
part
just mention?
of it.
I've got two things to mention. It's about Elizabeth line. Friday was an example of how crap it was. Because a train derailed and was dragged along a train track. So because it oversped, so trains were delayed. So trains were cancelled. One day they never cancelled. I had to get on the E11 bus from Ealing Broadway with my friend. We went all the way to Drayton Green. We missed a train going to West Ealing. So we
It's
decided,
very bad service, all of them. They no work.
we went to Greenford, we missed a train, came back to Castlebar Park, caught it there, and then only for that train to break down. And then that train was taken out of service. Then we had to wait another hour for them to get a train, about an hour and 15 minutes for them to get a train from Reading all the way down to Castlebar Park.
They are
What
only
to-
after money. These people are
yeah,
not.
yeah. Well, where were
Yeah.
you going, Arjun? Were you travelling to Southall?
Yeah, so
But wouldn't it have been easier then to catch a bus along the Uxbridge Road?
no, there was no bus along the Uxbridge Road. They were all packed.
Oh my God.
That's too much.
Yeah, it's totally grim.
So
But can we? Yeah.
I thought, you know, we can get a train from from Drayton Green or Castlebar Park, the Great Western. Then turns out we had to wait an extra hour and 15 minutes because they had to get a train down from Reading, bring it
That's
along the main line,
hideous. Absolutely hideous.
and then change onto Elizabeth, and then bring it down here to Castlebar Park to continue the service.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Nothing
Because
works here now.
it was apparently they took the train out of service because it was you know, bringing out a lot of fumes.
Mm,
The
It's not one of
system
them
is
diesel
failed now.
turbo trains. So
yeah. Anyway, let's close the meeting for tonight. So hopefully I'm going to do some research into somewhere where we can meet and have a face-to-face meeting. I think it's something you've mentioned, Arjun, in the past. And I think as the weather gets warmer, hopefully, May onwards, let's see if we can hold a few in-person meetings. Yeah.
I mean, I can also ask. The University of West London's got a lot of like communal spaces. They've got communal spaces everywhere. I know it's a bit of a trek out into South Ealing, but you know, but it's local to us. It could be a place that we can meet up, and I can ask.
Yeah.
I can ask the I know a couple of I could email the people who organise this stuff, and you know, we can do it once every month.
That would be great. But let's just see if we can try and find somewhere
That's okay.
close to home in Southall. But
Yeah,
anyway,
but I
thank
don't
you for
think we'll see
coming.
Southall, but you know, we'll see.
Yeah.
But the University of
Yeah,
West London is they can always accommodate anything anytime.
Yeah. But thank you for coming to tonight's meeting. We're going to meet probably, I think, the second week of April. So lots to discuss in the run up to the elections. Let's see what Sadiq Khan and co have to say. But we'll park it here for
Peace,
tonight.
Rose,
Thank
and
you.
affairs. So
Yeah.
peace, Rose, and affairs for a year. So,
Thank you for coming.
Bye-bye.
Angela,
Good
can I
night,
speak to you off recording quickly?
everyone.
Yeah, I've turned off the recording.
Bye.
I've given you
Bye,
the-
bye, Rashpal.
I've given
Bye-bye.
you the- Yeah. When are we going to start working on Emerald Square, Ange?
Short answer to that is I don't know. I think probably after Easter. And I'd like to think actually, because we've tried and tried at Emerald Square and people are just not going for it unless there's food and drink involved. What I've noticed that kids do play in the Spencer Street playground. Because I don't know if you know, that was all resurfaced.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see in the warmer weather, so we're probably talking May onwards, to see if we can do something then. But I'm just kind of like deflated rather with Emerald Square, and it takes a lot of work, and then to give it time that nobody turns up. So, but I'm thinking, let's try. Do you know Spencer Street? There's two playgrounds. There's a Mooga there and a younger children's playground next door. But I'll discuss it with you probably during the Easter holidays, because that's kind of like parked at the moment for me.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking of giving responsibility of the overhaul to Artie.
Yeah, I need to
have the time.
touch base with her. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried getting in contact with her, but I think she's been having a few health issues, so I haven't really bothered her.
Yeah, but let's see. I've got time during Easter holidays to, you know, make contacts and see if we can touch base with Fiona as well. But anyway, I'm going to have to go.
All
I've got
right,
loads of washing up to do. So
Good
night,
night.
Joe. Good night, Arjan.
Enjoy the washing up.
Okay. Oh no. See you soon. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.